A couple of new kids on the block are about to go head to head. Hey, it's Joshua Vergara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And this is the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 versus the LG G2 in a quick look. In a way, these two phones are quite similar in that both represent changes in their respective lines. The G2 dropping the Optimus in its name is much like the Galaxy S4 in its form and material, opting for the glossy plastic and has a 5-inch screen. The button layout has been moved to the back and is a unique way of using the smartphone that becomes pretty natural after a little time. The other feat of the G2 is its thinner bezels that give it a 5.2-inch screen. Thinner bezels are also found in the Note 3, which allow it a similar increase of 0.2 inches for its screen, now at 5.7. As a larger device, two-handed operation will obviously be more common, especially considering the usage of the S Pen. The new changes in the Note 3 actually involve the overall material. Instead of the glossy plastic, Samsung went for a textured plastic that alleviates the fingerprinting and slippery feel that the G2 can get. In display, the IPS display of the LG G2 brings a lot of expected brightness to the display game, but LG has been able to create a color saturation profile that actually rivals the Super AMOLED that Samsung has consistently brought out. It's a great display at 5.2 inches and is comparable to the 5.7-inch screen on the Note 3, which is like a larger version of the great performer that was originally on the Galaxy S4. When it comes to specifications, we actually have a little bit more level playing field. Both phones employ the Snapdragon 800 processor clocked in at 2.26 GHz backed by the Adreno 330. The Note 3 does have an edge with 3 GB of RAM aside from the standard 2 GB like is found in the G2. That extra RAM is important for all of the multitasking that the Note 3 is capable of, especially considering the new S Pen functionality. The Note 3 also has a little bit of an edge by having a removable back, which allows for a replaceable battery and expandable memory. When it comes to the camera, LG put a lot of new features in the G2 that we might have seen iterated in the Samsung Galaxy S4. So in creative smartphone photography, things are a little more evened out here as well, as the Note 3 camera employs pretty much everything the S4's camera was capable of. The trump card in the G2 is its implementation of optical image stabilization, which is a feature we thought would come in the Note 3 but didn't make the final cut. And in software, both LG and Samsung have been striving to add new features and functionality to their respective Android versions. And in the case of the G2, there are a few new multitasking options. Slide Aside is one particular new and notable feature. And for the Note 3, we have the S Pen that has been updated with the Air Command menu that includes smart memos and small app windows. While LG's Optimus UI has grown quite a bit, the TouchWiz of the Note 3 is bolstered by the S Pen. If a stylus experience is more appealing to you, it's pretty obvious which device to look at here. And so, there you have it. LG and Samsung are going head-to-head with their close releases of their flagship phones. If there's one thing that the Note 3 does make me wonder, it's what the Pro version of the G2 will look like, since the original Optimus G Pro is closer to a Note device offered by LG. We'll have to see what the G2's larger version can bring in the future. And for the rest of our Galaxy Note 3 and LG G2 coverage, make sure you stay tuned to Android Authority.
She is the queen of fitness. You have every single possible fitness device known to man.
Liz might be the queen of fitness. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to get there.
You have a Fitbit, the regular one, right?
I got the Fitbit 1.
Yeah.
I took that
The original.
to CES.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun. It was very accurate. And one of my favorite things about it was easy to clip on.
Right.
And it synced very well.
A glorified pedometer, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So this is the new Fitbit. It's a bracelet version of
Yeah,
the
it's a bracelet, which they've been meaning to make forever. And I'm so glad they finally did it because this is awesome. I love the thing.
It's called the Flex.
The Fitbit Flex, and rightfully so because it's very flexible.
It's bendy.
Yeah, it's bendy. It comes with 2 different sizes, and you can clip it on with this little.
So it's more
piece right here.
adjustable than some of these other ones. For instance, the Jawbone Up and the Nike Fuel Band. You really, it was like kind of one size fits all. This could be almost any
So
size.
this one, it comes with 2 separate bands, a large and a small band.
Everybody's so Liz comes running over with her Jawbone Up. Tony's taking off his Nike Fuel Band. Everybody's got one of these.
Look at all the bands. And
But
look,
this is the
you put them all
competition.
together and they all look the same.
And this probably has the same guts, the Motion X guts that the other ones have as well.
Yeah, it probably is the same guts.
Yeah. So tell us how it works, what it does. Show us the software because it really comes down to software. And I think Fitbit had the best software previously.
I kind of agree. I really, really like the software. One thing I noticed with this new one is when you actually sync it to your device, it syncs very quickly. It syncs
Via
a lot
Bluetooth?
faster. Yeah, via Bluetooth. to your iPhone or Android device. A lot faster than the old Fitbit 1, I have to say, very quickly. The one thing I did miss about this one is click. There we go. It's a little bit harder.
What are
to
you
click when
doing?
you're not wearing it. Cutting on the little LEDs.
Oh, look at there's little
screen right
LEDs
here.
on there. And what are they telling you?
This is telling me it's so much harder to
You
click
put it
whenever
back
you're
on.
not wearing it.
Yeah.
There we go.
There, you need something to push against.
Yeah, I need some pressure.
Is that how many steps you've
those little
taken?
LEDs shows you I've been using this about 40%
Uh-huh.
of my total daily goal. And my daily goal right now is 10,000. So
You set
once
that
I
in
hit,
software.
Yeah, once I hit 10,000 steps, you'll see 5 LEDs blink and show up. So this will count your steps. It'll count your sleeping patterns, as however many times
So
you wake up.
the old
your
Fitbit, you had a
calories.
special bracelet you had to put the Fitbit into.
Yeah,
This one,
which
at
was
least, you just
annoying.
keep
That was
wearing.
one of my cons about the old one. This one, you just hold on, you put it on, you can wear it in the shower because it's waterproof.
Okay.
Unlike the old one, which some people washed and killed. And then
Does
you
it?
can
So it
take this
measures
out to charge
steps?
it.
Does it measure altitude as well?
It does not.
Upstairs? It does not.
It doesn't measure that anymore, unfortunately.
Oh.
That's something you'll miss with this. It also doesn't have a little screen on there, so you can't see steps on here. You just see a percentage of your daily goal.
So that's the actual Fitbit. The rubber band
Yeah.
isn't even necessary. You could put that in your
Yeah, and they sell accessories too. A
put
bunch
that
of
in your
different colors.
pants,
You
and
could put it in your
It
pants.
would still work. Okay.
Now, one thing I did notice was with this, it has a little bit different accuracy than the Fitbit 1, and I think that's just because the Fitbit 1 you wear on your hip, this you wear on your wrist.
Right.
You get a little bit different of a step count,
Okay.
but altogether, it's still giving you the same competitive feeling whenever you start friending people on Fitbit. They also updated their website with the Flex. And this looks a little janky on the iPad right now, but they give you a whole bunch of these different little widgets that you can move around and arrange however you like.
So it's a dashboard
Yeah,
for you.
you get a dashboard. It measures your distance as well. Of course, your sleep pattern. It shows floors right here. You'll see 0 because I don't think that's counting floors. Calories burned, of course, and then your weight and whatnot as well. Luckily, I didn't put in my weight today.
You have to manually enter that so that
Yeah. You manually enter your food and your activity
Right.
every day. Your calories are automatically counted depending on your activity and your steps.
So far what we have is a pedometer that measures steps and motion during sleep, and a nice app. But tell me about the social part, because that's something very different from a regular pedometer.
So I haven't friended too many people on this, and that might be because a lot of people haven't purchased these. I have a few friends on here. Jeffrey Needles is one of my friends. He always beats me because he bounces around on his ball all day, and he gets so many more steps than I do. But it definitely makes you feel like, oh man, I need to race them and get a little bit higher step
So
count.
you might actually go out and get a ball, for instance.
Yeah,
and sit
so
on one
I
just
have a
to-
ball in my
Yeah,
office
see?
now.
Just so you can compete.
Because I want to get more steps than
But that's
Jeffrey
the value
Needles
of something
does.
like this. It really does kind of encourage you
Yeah, it
to
does.
increase your activity.
And for $99.95, I think it's a really good price point. I think it's well manageable. It's really easy to wear. I forget about it when I go to the gym, and then I get home and I check it, and I'm like, yeah, I hit my goal. I was so excited. So it makes you feel so much better about yourself. And I don't know. I think it's just a really good thing to have.
There are a lot of choices, but as we just mentioned, the Jawbone and the Nike Fuel Band and the
Yes.
Flex, they're mostly kind of the same, maybe some slight differences.
They're very similar to each
Fuel
other.
Band doesn't actually measure steps, it measures fuel points, whatever that is. I think it has roughly the same.
Steps as well.
It's pretty similar. Right. It says fuel points and steps. I don't know what the difference is. But the same thing. You set a goal, and what I've noticed, and obviously you have too, is as you get closer to that goal, you kind of make a point of doing more.
You do,
You take
yeah.
the stairs, you walk a little farther, you sit on a bouncy ball.
Sit on a bouncy
Just
ball.
so you
as
can
silly as it sounds.
do a little bit better. And I think that's the kind of change, the life change that can make a long term, make a huge
It really
difference.
does.
Yeah.
And the battery as well. I know some
How
people
long do you
ask
go
about
on that?
I can go about a week without
that's
it dying.
great.
The charging takes about 2 to 3 hours. or so.
USB?
Yeah, it's USB, and it comes with a little charging thing. And then it also comes with a little syncer that you can plug into USB if you don't have a mobile device to sync to.
Then it syncs to your computer
Yeah.
via the USB port.
Yeah,
That's
I can
just like
just
the old Fitbit. Yeah.
And the
Yeah, let's see
clips
how it looks.
stay pretty well too.
Now, you're a lady, you're fashion conscious. Do you think that
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
attractive, unattractive?
I think it's fine.
Okay. Other colors or just black?
There are other colors. They have teal, red, a whole bunch of other ones.
All right.
You can also purchase this in, I believe, a navy blue type of color. They have a pretty orange one, which I actually want to buy.
Some Loquacious in the chat room says, when you don't meet your daily goal, Does it get you down, or does it make you want to work harder the next day?
It makes me want to work harder the next day.
That was my experience
Yep.
too. Yeah,
It really does.
You want to get that goal every day, and if you don't, you go, "I'll get you tomorrow."
Yeah. So my pros and cons of this, it's a comfortable wristband. I noticed it doesn't really make me sweat anymore underneath it or anything. It's waterproof, which is great, so I never have to take
like
it
that.
off.
Yeah.
Other than when I want to clean it, because it does get kind of gross.
Yeah.
After you wear it for like a week. And it's very accurate. My cons, it doesn't have that screen. So moving from the Fitbit 1 to this, you are going to lose that little screen that tells you your step count right there.
Yeah, and you had a little flower that grew and all that
you have
stuff.
the little
That's
flower.
gone.
Now you just have the LEDs that blink at
But
you.
you also have the app, which does do all those fancy
so it's
things.
kind of like, well, you're losing the screen, but you're still getting the app,
more
and it's
compact.
been updated and
Yeah.
it syncs faster. So altogether, it's definitely a buy for me.
Good.
I love the thing, and I'm going to keep wearing it until
Good
it
for you.
dies.
You'd be amazed how many people around here are wearing Fuel Bands,
it's really
Fitbits,
surprising.
Jawbones. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
I like it.
All right, thank you, Shannon Moore. She produces this show at Snubs
I
on
do,
Twitter. She's
yes.
also the host of Threat Wire, which you can watch on YouTube, youtube.com/geek. What is it? Tech Geek? Tech Feed. Tech Feed.
I was like, what is it?
What is the name of that? Tech Feed. And we do that, of course, with Darren Kitchen of Hack 5. Great to have you.